Hi guys, it's me again, Charles Norman from Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS.com, and it is a website for those of you that are trying to get athletic scholarships. It shows you all of your options and opportunities. It's based on your academics, the sports you play, the area of the country you're interested in, and the level you can play at the collegiate level. And so, and we give it to you at absolutely no cost. I always put the information down below on how you can use the code that I give you to go in and start using the software. The only thing that we do a little bit different is that if you're using the software, we put some offers in there. And if you use our offers, it helps us out. And then we can continue on going and doing what we're doing. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and how you as a high school athlete can benefit from it, or whether or not you can benefit from it. And then I'm going to give you an alternative that I think you might want to think about, the way I would address this right now. So let's go get into it right away. So this week, I actually was able to listen in on a webinar given by Sports Techie. Shouts out to Sports Techie. They do some of these great webinars where they talk to experts in the youth sports industry, and you can find out a lot of cool stuff. And so on this, they had someone from Game Changers. Game Changers is basically a platform where if you have a travel club program or something like that, you can use their platform, and then you can, have teams on there, and you can, talk about their rosters, any kind of streaming video that you want to do for your team, for your games, let the parents know about information, communication back and forth. It's all on that platform. They sort of condensed all that stuff into one world. And I'm not touting Game Changer. It's a great product, but there's other products out there, so I'm not endorsing anyone, so I want to be careful there. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying that they were on this webinar. And then the next group that was on there was Pixelot. Pixelot, I think, is a company that was based out of Israel, but basically what Pixelot has is this smart camera, this AI camera, that if you were a high school program, you would put one in the gym, one of these cameras in the gym and one on the field, and it understands the games that are being played, like basketball, volleyball, football, and I think they have baseball now even. And so you put this camera up and you don't have to man it or anything, and it will pick up what's going on the field. It understands what's going on. It even knows where to zoom in and all that sort of stuff. So really cool technology. That's Pixelot. And I don't know what other camera systems can do that sort of thing, but I'm sure there's some others out there. So again, look around. Don't just take the name of these guys. And then finally, there was someone there from Instagram, which actually surprised me. But if you think about it, they were talking more about collegiate NIL. And so one of the things they want to do is get you to put your stuff on their platform. This is what everybody's doing right now. Get your stuff on our platform. We'll let you use it all for free. And then, but the problem is the ability to control that content. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Okay, so we've got what I was listening to on the webinar, and I asked some information about what about high schools NIL, and basically they don't know that much about it either. Well, one thing we all know is California does have a law in place saying that yes, you can profit from your name, image, and likeness as a high school student. I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. And there were a few other states that they thought had it, New Jersey, New York, and they had another one. I just don't know. I don't want to say it and I'm wrong, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I think it was Michigan though, but I'm going to leave it alone. But check your state. Most states do not allow a high school student to profit off of their name, image, and likeness as far as an athlete that plays at a high school. Okay, so the two things to understand though about the NCAA, which is the governing body for college athletes, and for the and let's talk about that first, is the NCAA and NAIA, their number one goal is to make sure if you're going to play at the college level, you are an amateur athlete. So their number one rule, no matter what else anybody else says, is you cannot get paid to play your sport. And that is really their bottom line. If you get paid money to play, so don't let anybody give you money to go to a tournament or to come and showcase or anything like that. If they give you money for your ability to play that sport, you just killed yourself as far as playing at the collegiate level. Just don't bother with it. It's just not worth it for you. Now, here's the harder part, because those are just two governing bodies. The NCAA covers, hundreds of colleges, and so does NAIA, and that covers everybody that has a college program. So those are easy. The bigger problem is each state has their own governing body for their high school athletics. And so for California, it's the CIF, the California Interscholastic Federation. And so they control what the high schools, and really what they're trying to control, which is differently, is you using anything has anything to do with those high schools for your benefit. That's a no-no for them. So while California says, hey, yeah, go ahead, profit from your name, image, and likeness, what they also say in the little fine print is, but you can't use the logo or any mention of the school that you're attending. And so that sort of defeats the purpose, right? You want to try to do something to cater off. Most people don't know you from Adam. Even your local community, they don't know you. But if you put that school uniform on, your Letterman's jacket or your uniform, or you just have the logo up somewhere, or you mention it, then they go, oh, okay, that's the kid that's the quarterback up at, or the point guard, or the whatever it is at such and such school. I love the school. Okay, let me listen to them and maybe I'll buy this product or whatever it is. Well, that's a no-no. You can get on there and try to sell the product, but you can't talk about your school. So I don't even know if the benefits, and this is one of the reasons I created the software, all that little murkiness, all that little side thing that puts you're not quite sure if you're doing it quite right, and you don't want to mess yourself up, because the two things you don't want to do, so NCAA, NAIA, you don't want to mess with them because they can stop you from playing at the collegiate level. The state governing bodies, you don't want to mess with them because they can stop you from playing high school ball, right? You broke the rules, you can't play, or you sit out a year or whatever it is, and that can mess you up too. So you don't want to screw around with those guys. So here's what I am saying you should do. Forget all of that. And I'm getting somewhere with all this. I know I'm taking you through a long route to get there, but so we talked about all of these platforms that want you to come and put your content on there. And then we're talking about these governing bodies that want to kind of control where you move back and forth. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. We want to, and this is our big thing for Sports Solutions, we want you to control your own world. And so here's what I'm recommending you do. I'm recommending you go and get your own domains. You're going to get 2 domains. You're going to get one with your kid's name, first and last name, John Doe, at johndoe.com, right? That's a website. I mean, that's a domain you're going to purchase. Then you're going to buy another domain, and that domain is going to be a nickname, something that your kid's known by, maybe a nickname that they're known by, and you know it's you, right? And so you're going to create that. So that's 2 domains. Everybody's listening to me. Okay, so you don't want to put anything on their full name domain. You just want to hold that so no one else tries to come after. If your kid's really good, somebody's going to go out and buy that domain name, right? And you want to already own it. And so if you do it, and if you want to do something with it later on, it's yours to do with. And a domain, owning a domain, once you purchase it, will cost you somewhere between $15 and $18 a year. So it's not an expensive thing to own. And then every year, just keep it up, right? Now, on the second domain, the one with their nickname or whatever is cool about them, I don't know what that name would be, that's where you're going to start loading content. So I would suggest, if you don't know that much about creating creating a website, just have somebody else create it for you. Just pay somebody to create a website for you. There's always somebody, probably somebody in their high school that knows how to do it, or there's a club on the high school, the tech club or whatever it is. Get somebody to do it for you, or just pay somebody to do it. There's somebody in your community that knows how to build a website, and that's where you're going to put all your content. Everything about your kid, mom, dad, you guys take your cameras everywhere. Student athlete, everywhere you're going, you got your phone with you. If you're doing something with your teammates, whatever you're doing, just go ahead and film it, put it on your site. You don't have to show that site to anybody right now, but we're building towards it, right? So we're starting to get all this content. We've got video, we've got audio, we've got photos, we've got all this cool stuff. We've got any kind of newspaper clippings you might have gotten for you. Just make a link to it, take a picture of it, whatever it is. Just load it up on your site. This is you. You own this. And so you are eventually going to be using those other platforms, because those are the platforms. So whether it's Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever is going on moving forward, I don't know them all, TikTok, whatever's going on out there, you can use those, but it's still your stuff. Make sure it's over on your site too. And every time you're over there, you can move them. You can say, hey, if you like this, I got some more cool stuff over at my site, because that's your world. You control it. Yes, you have to be over here, but you can also be over here. And so what we're trying to do is, and this is one of the things we talk about on Sports Solution, and especially inside of AthleticSOS, we're thinking 5, 10, 15 years down the line. So some of the things I want you to do on your website are, I want you to talk about your nutrition program. What do you do, and why do you eat, what are the foods you're eating, and why do you eat those foods? What are they doing for you? How are you feeling about it? What brand do you use? And that's where you start to see the power of this thing. Do not profit off of your website. One of the things I don't want you to do, though, is get carried away and start letting some advertising come onto your website, because now you're profiting. And is that okay? I don't know, but you don't want to find out, do you? So don't put anything else on there but your content. That's it. You want to talk about your workout program. Why do you do this? And what time of the years do you do certain things to get yourself ready for the season? What do you do when you're in season? How do you do your weight? All of that stuff. Everybody wants to know this information. This is cool information. And then the biggest one for us is we want to start doing your community stuff. And that's one of the things we're trying to get you guys to get more cognizant of. Go do stuff in your community, take your camera with you, and talk about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and just be a cool person. Just be a good person, and that will pay off for you later on. So why is all this important? Because if you get an athletic scholarship, once you get to college, it's open book. They're open to NIL, period, once you're there. So you came in, you kept your amateur status, you got your scholarship, and now let's say you're, and this is my opinion only, so don't follow me anything, but I think in the future, that third string linebacker is going to have more endorsements and be making more profit off of their name, image, and likeness than the star quarterback is. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy with this, but I see it. I see the future of it because your personality has been carried on. You've already built up a level of following, and they just followed you to the next thing. And now you can talk about what you're doing in college, how it's different than high school, what you guys do during a daily grind of being a college athlete. What does it mean? How did you pick your major? Well, how's that going? Did you get any pushback from anything? What do you do to have fun? All of that stuff, people will go to your site to follow you more than they will you have to worry about the big boys that are out there saying, oh, we just want the stars of the stars of the stars. No, that's not how the world's going to work anymore, because we're changing it. We're saying, I'm picking me, so I've got my own thing. I'll do some stuff up here and I'll launch some stuff up there, but I'm sending you back to me, and I'm building my brand, my social media presence, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it later on, but it's there. And people will follow you. And if you happen to be the big star at the collegiate level, oh my goodness, it's even more valuable, because who doesn't want who you were to get to where you're going, and they want to follow your transition, your path to get there, because they want to do the same thing. You're even more valuable. And then we start talking about the NFTs and all that stuff, and the blockchain is going to take over eventually. We're going to start over here in Web 2.0. That's Web 3.0. We're going to start in Web 2.0, which are .com website, and that's where we're going to start at. So does all of this make sense to you guys? So you don't want to necessarily have to use the NIL. Now, I think in about 5 years, all of this will be fleshed out. As a high school student, you're going to be able to do what you want to do. As a college student, you're going to be able to use your name, image, and likeness the way you want to. And then the whole key then will just be about keeping your amateur status. So I'm just going to summarize this thing one more time. For the governing bodies for both of for college and high school, for college, they want you to be an amateur athlete, so you cannot make money playing your sport. Or so you don't want to get paid to go to a tournament or combine or showcase or to come to some event. Don't get paid for that, because they're paying you because of who you are as an athlete. You just became a professional. No endorsements, nothing. Don't do any of it. Don't take any money. How about that? If you're in high school, their big thing is they want to control. So, and here's the worst part about the high school is every state has their own governing body. So they all got their own rules. They want to control the high school's logo, image, all of that stuff. So you cannot do anything that makes money where you're using that logo for, even though it's your high school and they say it's okay, it's not okay. The governing body makes the rules, not the high school. And so don't put anything on if you're going to make money. You can put it on if you're just doing something for the good of the neighborhood. You're like, you're going to community center and you put your jacket on and you're going to the event, but you're not trying to profit from it. You're okay there. So even though like California, they do have a law saying you can do that, because of the other rules, I don't know how you benefit from going out and trying to stand at a camera somewhere and talk about who, you should buy this product, and you don't have your school uniform. Nobody knows who you are. I mean, some people know who you are, but they don't know you without your affiliation to that school. Once they know the school, if they like the school, they'll go, oh, let me listen to our star quarterback or point guard or whatever it is going on, or swim champion. Let me listen to them, because they wouldn't be doing this. I'm going to listen to them. But you can't even wear that stuff, and you can't even talk about where you're from. What's the point? So anyway, so let's start our own thing, the 2 domains, one with your name, and then so you're just holding that one. You're not going to do anything with that one. And then the second one is one that is your nickname or something like that, something they call you by, something you're known for. That's your cool website, right? That's your personality website. Let's call it that. And then we're going to build on that one. And so, and I understand you don't know how to do a website, but someone does. Just tell them what you're doing it for, and they'll put something together. And most of these things are kind of generic now, but your content is not generic. And then go ahead and participate in all the other world. Get your stuff out in whatever you think is cool. Put it up on any of the other social media websites, but always have some extra stuff on yours, that stuff and some extra stuff on your site, and drive people to your site so you can start building up. And then on your site, really important that you give something back to somebody. Why are you doing what you're doing to be this great athlete that you are right now? How's your training going? How's your nutrition going? Why are you going to this event instead of that event? Why are you doing this tournament, not that tournament? What are you doing during the summer? What are you doing during your downtime? All that kind of stuff. Everybody's curious. They want to get to know you and who you are. And then that'll benefit you as you move up to the collegiate level. And then beyond college, when you're done playing, if you're playing professional, it goes there. But if you're not, you move into your life. How are you handling being an ex-athlete now, and how you're keeping in shape and all that kind of stuff? And so 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, you can still be profiting by people that still are attached to you for whatever reason, and they just want to see how you're progressing, and that could be another form of income for you for decades. Okay, so anyway, I hope all of that made sense to you guys. I just wanted to get this back out because I did mention NILs in another video, and you guys wanted to hear a little bit more about it. So I wanted to clarify some stuff so I don't get it twisted. I believe you should be able to use NIL at the high school level, but it's not here yet in most states. And the states it is in, there's these caveats that could mess you up. And you now, don't forget the two governing bodies for the high schools. They can stop you from playing high school if you break the rules, right? You don't want that to happen. And at the collegiate level, they can stop you from playing at the collegiate level, and we don't want that to happen.